Hi, I'm Billy Kendall, and I'm representing the Republican Party.
Oh, hi there. I'm Joe Rosé. I'm representing the Democratic Party.
Billy, what are your thoughts on assisted suicide?
Neither euthanasia nor assisted suicide should be legalized. It is immoral and unethical to deliberately end the life of a terminally ill person or enable another person to end their own life. The goal should be compassionate care and easing the suffering of terminally ill people. Legalizing euthanasia could lead to doctor assisted suicides of non critical patients. If euthanasia were legalized, insurance companies could pressure doctors to withhold life saving treatment for dying patients. Many religions prohibit suicide and euthanasia. These practices devalue human life.
Euthanasia should be legalized. If someone is sitting and suffering at the end of their lives and they choose to go out on their own will, they have perfectly every right to do so. A person has the right to die with dignity by their own choice. Someone terminally ill or suffering from a deadly disease, if they're ending their life in suffering, it's wrong for the government to prevent them from doing something to end that for themselves. If you take away the means for them to do that and hasten their own death, there's nothing wrong with the person having the right to do that. It's wrong to force them to go through pain and suffering when they should have the choice to do so themselves. Legalizing euthanasia would not lead to any further medical bills. If anything, it would cost less for the American people, and tax paying for it could benefit in many different ways. Permitting euthanasia would reduce healthcare costs and would make funds available for other types of healthcare or other forms for taxpayers.
We're now going to talk about Social Security. Let's hear from Joey.
The Social Security system in America should be protected at all costs. Reduction in future benefits is not a reasonable option for the United States of America. Social Security, what it does for all of America's citizens, provides a safety net for the nation's poor and needy, the people who cannot provide for themselves. Changing that system would cause all sorts of reductions in benefits, and so many people would suffer as a result. In America, we need to focus on Social Security to make sure there's equality for all, the wealthy and the poor, and the middle class in between.
America's Social Security system is in serious financial trouble. We need to make major changes in our current system, or else it won't work out and it'll collapse upon itself. In its current state, it's not financially sustainable. We either need to make it more privatized or have people finance their own Social Security. It needs to be made more efficient through one of those two things. And if nothing is done to these problems, then Social Security will not be a thing in the future.
On to healthcare. Billy?
We need free market healthcare, not government mandated or government supplied healthcare. It gives people an opportunity to make money and offers more jobs to the public. We should all have access to healthcare. The only real debate about healthcare is who should pay for it. Free government healthcare results in higher costs for taxpayers and lower quality in the healthcare that they receive. Healthcare should stay private, and the problem of uninsured people should be solved within the free market healthcare system and not solved by the government.
Thank you.
Common people of America need low-cost government control of healthcare. There are millions of Americans. Equal healthcare benefits for all, regardless of their ability to pay.
Next, we're going to talk about gun control. Let's hear from our conservative.
The Second Amendment gives citizens the right to keep and bear arms. If we take away this amendment, we'll start to take away other things like privacy or freedom of press or freedom of speech, and then we won't become what America is really based off of. Individuals have the right to defend themselves. Having a gun is pretty much like defending yourself. There are too many gun control laws already. Additional laws will not prevent any crime or will not prevent any more crime. What is needed is enforcement of current gun laws and nothing else. Gun control laws do not prevent criminals from obtaining guns. They just keep them out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. More guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens means less crime, and more guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens means more crime. And regardless of if guns become illegal or not, criminals will always find a way to get them.
The Second Amendment does not give citizens the right to keep and bear arms. All it does is allow for states to allow themselves to keep a militia or national guard. Giving every American citizen the access to guns just increases the chances of a higher rate of crime. Individuals do not need guns for protections. It is the role of the federal government to protect the people and enforce laws. Additional gun control laws are necessary to stop gun violence and limit the ability of criminals to obtain all of these types of guns. More guns means more violence, and that's all there is to it.
We're going to discuss the death penalty. Joey, your views?
The death penalty should not exist. It is a very cruel punishment. There are many other punishments that are more appropriate. Keeping the person in prison is a better option. I absolutely do not support the death penalty. Because every time an execution is given, you have the chance of killing someone who is absolutely innocent. Without taxpayer support, criminals could not be kept in containment, and ending their lives violates natural human rights.
The death penalty is not only an option our country should have, but a necessity. Someone who kills multiple people or commits other terrible offenses such as rape doesn't deserve to live. They don't deserve to live, and most definitely do not deserve to be living in our prison system off of our taxpayers' dollars, when that money could be going to much better things. When others call the death penalty inhumane or cruel, you just have to think about the cruel things that they've done, that the criminals have done. Murder is inhumane, rape is inhumane, and what comes around goes around.
So, Billy, what are your thoughts on abortion?
Well, I'm 100% against abortion. Human life begins at conception, so as soon as a baby is made, a life begins. Because of this, an unborn baby should have the same rights as his or her mother, or you or me. Due to this, there should be no government-funded abortion programs, and no taxpayer dollars should go towards giving women free or discounted abortions. On top of that, the partial birth abortion ban is something this country desperately needs. It's absolutely sickening to me to know that a baby that is almost fully developed can be taken out of his or her mother, and killed.
Personally, I believe that the individual citizen has the right to decide what they want to do with their own body and their own choices. If a woman carrying a child is incapable of providing proper care for the baby, she has the right to abortion before its life even begins. The fetus is not a human life, and therefore does not have individual rights. They do what they can to provide for them, but if it's not enough, they need to be able to have the right for abortion. The mother can decide the baby's fate, which means the government needs to provide tax-funded abortions for that child. They need to be safe, affordable, and above all, legal for everyone, even those who can't afford it. Therefore, tax dollars need to go towards it, and all abortion needs to be legal, even partial birth abortion.